Welcome to Gearhead Lab, your all-in-one garage for car reviews, trim comparisons, maintenance hacks, and real-world repair tricks. You hop into your car, crank the AC, and instead of that icy blast you're dreaming of, you get lukewarm disappointment straight to the face. Instant rage. But don't call the mechanic just yet, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make your car's AC blow ice cold again, using simple checks and one DIY recharge you can safely do in your driveway. No toolbox hero skills required. Most people jump straight to "I need more gas in the AC." But that's not always true, and if you just start blindly spraying refrigerant into the system, you can actually damage it or waste money. So here's the game plan. First, you're going to do 3 lightning-fast checks that cost almost nothing, and fix a surprising number of weak AC problems. Then, if your AC really is low on refrigerant, you'll see a clear step-by-step process to top it up using a gauge-equipped recharge kit, the same kind sold at any auto parts store. And the best part? You can do all of this in under an hour without going near a mechanic's waiting room. Step 1. Don't trap the heat inside your car. When you get into a car that's been baking in the sun, the cabin air can easily be 15 to 20 degrees hotter than the outside. If you slam the AC on full blast with the windows up, your system has to fight all that trapped heat at once, and it feels like the AC is useless. Instead, the moment you start the engine, roll the windows down for 20 to 30 seconds and turn the fan on high with fresh air, not recirculate, selected. Let that oven-hot air escape first. Then, once the car feels less like a sauna, switch to recirculate and keep the fan high. You've just given your AC a way easier job. Step 2. Check your AC settings like a pro, not like someone poking buttons hoping for a miracle. Make sure the temperature is set to full cold, not in the middle. Turn the fan speed to max. Make sure the AC light is actually on. And most importantly, after those first 30 seconds dumping heat, make sure you're on recirculate mode so the system is cooling the air inside the cabin, not constantly pulling in hot air from outside. You would be shocked how many broken AC complaints are actually just bad settings. Step 3 is where the real magic starts: airflow. Put your hand up to the vents with the fan on max. Does it feel strong, or is it weak and sad? If the airflow is weak, but the air itself is somewhat cool, your problem might not be refrigerant. It could be a clogged cabin air filter. This filter sits behind your glove box or under the dash, and over time it fills with dust, pollen, leaves, and whatever the outside world throws at your car. When it's clogged, cold air can't get through properly, and it feels like the AC isn't cold, when in reality it's just not reaching you. Replacing the cabin air filter is one of the easiest and cheapest upgrades you can do. Pop open your glove box, check for tabs on the sides to lower it down, and you'll usually see a plastic door hiding the filter. Slide the old one out and look at it. If it's gray, filthy, or clogged with leaves, you just found a big part of the problem. Put a new filter in, making sure the airflow arrow is pointing the right way. Close it up and test the AC again. In a lot of cars, this single change makes the vents feel stronger and cooler instantly. If your airflow is strong but the air is still warm or only slightly cool, now we're probably dealing with refrigerant level or a more serious mechanical issue. Before you reach for a recharge kit, do a quick walk-around check. Pop the hood with the engine running and AC on max. Carefully look at the front of the car. Is the condenser, the little radiator in front of the actual radiator, covered in leaves, mud, or bugs? If so, air can't pass through it properly, and the system can't dump heat. Use a garden hose, not a pressure washer, from the backside if possible, to gently rinse debris out of the fins. Be gentle. Those fins bend easily. Even cleaning this can noticeably improve cooling on a hot day. Next, listen for the AC compressor. With the engine idling and AC set to max, you should hear the compressor clutch click on and see it spinning on the AC pulley. If the clutch never engages, the refrigerant might be very low, a fuse might be blown, or there could be an electrical problem. If it's cycling on and off rapidly, clicking on then off every few seconds, that can also be a sign the system is low on refrigerant or having pressure issues. At this point, if your cabin filter is clean, your condenser is clear, your settings are correct, and the air is still not cold, it's time for the main event: a safe DIY AC recharge using a proper gauge-equipped kit. This is where you can bring that meh AC back to ice cold without going anywhere near a shop. But you have to be smart and follow steps carefully. First, verify which refrigerant your car uses. Most cars from the 1990s up through the early 2010s use R134A. Many newer cars, especially recent models, use R1234YF. Open the hood and look for a sticker that says refrigerant R134A or R1234YF and shows the amount required in grams or ounces. This matters because you must buy the correct type of recharge kit. Never mix refrigerants. Once you have the right kit, grab a pair of safety glasses and gloves. Refrigerant coming out of a pressurized can is extremely cold and can cause frostbite on contact with skin. You're going to be working near moving engine parts, so tie back long hair, avoid loose clothing, and keep your hands clear of belts and fans. Safety first, cold air second. Now start your car, set the AC to max cold, fan on high, and recirculate on. Let it run for a couple of minutes so the system is actively trying to cool. Next, you need to find the low pressure service port. This is usually on the thicker aluminum line running from the firewall or near the accumulator. The port will have a cap, often labeled L or with low somewhere nearby. Do not connect to the high pressure port. Your DIY kit is designed for the low side only. Remove the cap from the low pressure port and keep it somewhere safe. Take your recharge kit and look at the gauge. Most DIY kits have a color-coded gauge. Green is good, blue might mean undercharged, red is overfilled or too high pressure. With the can still closed, connect the quick connect coupler to the low pressure port. It should snap on firmly. Now read the gauge with the AC running. If it shows the system is in the normal range, your problem might not be low refrigerant. At that point, you probably need a mechanic. But if the needle is clearly in the low zone, you're a good candidate for a top-up. To recharge, follow the instructions on your specific kit, but here's the general idea. Hold the can upright. Almost all kits require the can to stay vertical while charging. Shake it as directed. Then squeeze the trigger for a few seconds to allow refrigerant to flow into the system. Release the trigger and let the gauge stabilize. You're aiming to bring the pressure into the recommended range on the gauge for the current outside temperature. Don't just blast refrigerant non-stop. Add a little, check the gauge, feel the vent air, and repeat slowly. While you're doing this, keep one eye on the AC vents inside. You should feel the air gradually getting colder as the system reaches its sweet spot. Use a simple thermometer in the vent if you have one. On a hot day, a properly charged system should be able to drop vent temperatures significantly below the outside air temperature. If the gauge moves into the correct zone and the air gets nice and cold, you're done. If the gauge jumps into the too high or red zone, stop immediately. That means something is off, and forcing more refrigerant could damage the system or trip safety valves. Once you're in the correct range and the vents are cold, disconnect the coupler from the low pressure port by pulling the collar and lifting it off. Replace the cap on the port tightly. That little cap is actually part of the system's leak protection. Turn off the engine and store any remaining refrigerant according to the instructions on the can. Some kits can be used again later for a top-off. Others are one-time use. Now, step back and enjoy your work for a second. Get back in the car, drive around the block with the AC on, and feel the difference. If you started with weak, lukewarm air, and now you've got that crisp, ice-cold blast that makes you forget it's summer outside, you just saved yourself a solid chunk of money. A shop visit for AC diagnosis and recharge can easily cost a lot more than a DIY kit, especially in peak season. There are a few important limitations you need to know though. If your AC went from fine to completely dead overnight, that can mean a major leak or a failed component like a compressor or condenser. DIY recharge is not a magic fix for big leaks or broken parts. If you recharge and it's cold for only a few days or weeks before fading again, your system likely has a leak large enough that it needs professional repair. Think of a DIY recharge as topping off a system that slowly lost some refrigerant over years, not patching a hole in a blown-out tire. Also, if you notice oily residue around AC lines, fittings, or the condenser, or you hear grinding or screeching noises when the compressor engages, stop. That's mechanical trouble territory. Continuing to force the system to run, or adding more refrigerant, can cause bigger damage. At that point, a trusted mechanic or AC specialist is the smarter, cheaper move long-term, even if the upfront bill hurts. But here's the good news. A huge percentage of "my AC just isn't as cold as it used to be" cases are caused by some combination of trapped hot air, bad settings, a clogged cabin filter, a dirty condenser, and mildly low refrigerant from years of slow seepage. And those are exactly the things you now know how to attack. You've turned a mysterious, expensive-sounding AC problem into a simple checklist you can run through in under an hour. Another pro tip most people never think about is how you drive while the AC is running. If you're constantly switching the system on and off, cranking the fan from low to max and back, or changing from fresh air to recirculate every few minutes, you're actually making the system work harder than it needs to. Set it up correctly, full cold, fan high, recirculate on once the cabin heat is gone, and then leave it alone. Stable settings let the system run efficiently and keep pressures more consistent, which helps cooling performance and can even extend component life over time. Also pay attention to when the AC feels weakest. If it only struggles at idle in heavy traffic but gets cold again once you're driving, that can point to airflow issues over the condenser or a weak cooling fan. Cleaning the condenser and making sure your radiator fans are working can dramatically improve stuck-in-traffic performance. If the AC is weak all the time, idling, driving, morning, night, that's when your DIY checklist and potential recharge matter most. The more patterns you notice, the easier it is to tell the difference between a simple driveway fix and a real shop-level problem. So let's recap the power moves you've unlocked. Dump the trapped heat first. Windows down, fresh air, then recirculate. Make sure your settings are actually helping, not fighting the AC. Swap out that cabin filter so cold air can actually reach you. Clean the condenser so the system can get rid of heat efficiently. Then, if needed, safely top off low refrigerant using a proper gauge kit and the right refrigerant type. Each step makes a difference on its own. Put together, they can turn a sad, wheezing AC into something that feels like a portable walk-in freezer pointed at your face. The next time someone complains, "My car's AC sucks, I think I need a mechanic," you'll know what's really going on. And you'll know you don't always have to drop the car off at a shop and pray. You've just learned how to take back control of one of the most important comfort features in your car. If this video helped you make your car's AC blow ice cold again, imagine what else you can fix with a little guidance and the right tools. Keep your car cooler, your wallet thicker, and your mechanic slightly more confused about why you're not visiting as often. This video was brought to you by Auto Shotgun Media.